My name's Ray Lewis. I'm so scary. I popped Ocho Cinco over the middle of the field last week and knocked his helmet off. Ooh. Yeah, well, guess what, Ray? You lost the game. Here's what Ocho Cinco had to say after the game. Paper beats rock. Rock beats scissors. Scissors beats paper. What beats all three? Answer, Ocho Cinco. Now, I happen to think that Chad Johnson Ocho Cinco is pretty funny. And that made me happy because Ray Lewis is a good football player and to be respected and all that stuff, but just sort of get tired about hearing how fierce the defense is and how much of a leader he is. So, anyway, I'm looking forward to the Vikings handing the Ravens their third loss in a row and dropping them further down all the dumb national media's power rankings that had them at number 1 after they won their first 3 games. So anyway, that's what I hope happens. Let's talk a little bit about the Rams game. Vikings crushed them, and I know they gave up a lot of yards, and I know they had to take advantage of some turnovers in order to crush them, but I'm not worried about that game. They've won all three of their road games so far this year, and yeah, they're against bad teams, but they went out and they won, which is not something this Vikings team has done in several years. Beat every team they're supposed to. A lot of those yards came toward the end of the game. Bolger came in, completed 7 of 7 passes, drove down the field and scored a touchdown. Donnie Avery did a celebration dance when he caught the touchdown pass, but they were down 31-3. Okay, and they changed the score to 31-10 in the fourth quarter. So, I don't think those yards should count against Minnesota's defense, really, when you're talking about how good a defense Minnesota does or does not have. And also the Tampa 2 defense that they run, it gives the offense the middle of the field because it requires smart players and good tackling, and it guards the perimeter. It stuffs the line of scrimmage, which is why teams have a hard time running. It protects the sidelines, and then the safeties are like nothing deep, and the cornerbacks will drop back to prevent anything big from happening. And so, yeah, teams dink and dunk up the middle, and tight ends have had a lot of success against the Vikings because they catch a pass in the middle of the field and turn upfield, and every once in a while someone breaks one. The Vikings made Jermichael Finley look like Shannon Sharp last Monday night. And, the safeties are still newish to the Vikings. They both came to the Vikings last year. Tyrell Johnson as a rookie last year, and Madu Williams as a former Cincinnati Bengal, I believe. Is that right? Am I thinking of Carl Pema? Anyway, and then the Vikings get rid of Darren Sharper, and it's just a little bit of a learning issue there at safety, and every once in a while the tight ends get free. So yeah, Todd Heap for the Ravens might do well against the Vikings in that spot this year, but I haven't finished talking about the Rams, and I'm almost done. It's just to say that I think the Vikings went out and squished them, okay? I think that they played a very emotional Monday night game and had a short week, and Favre celebrated his 40th birthday party, and who knows what kind of party that was. And yet, they had the discipline to go out on the road, play good football, and systematically pick apart St. Louis. So, bravo, Minnesota. I'm tired of everyone else saying, well, who have they beat? Who have they beat? Minnesota's no good. They're just beating up on losers. Well, those losers have 5 more losses than they would if they hadn't played the Vikings. That's part of it. And look at, the Giants, who everyone thinks is the greatest team ever. Who have they beat? Look at their win-loss record of their opponents versus Minnesota's opponents, and I think it's a difference of 2 wins so far. So, if Minnesota can go out and handle a Ravens team at home, it's going to go a long way to establishing their credibility among non-Vikings Homer fans, non-Vikings fans. And then if they can go on the road to Pittsburgh and handle them too, everyone will start taking the Vikings seriously. with this game against the Ravens, and then next week at Pittsburgh, and then the week after that at Lambeau before the bye, it's a pretty tough stretch. I'd be thrilled if the Vikings go 2-1 over that stretch, and I think they'll be in good shape if they even just win one of those 3 games and are sitting at 6-2 during the bye week. So I'm not too stressed out about the game. I think Flacco is susceptible to good defenses, and Minnesota's got one. I think Baltimore has a nice running game, but really it's more about Ray Rice as like a young fast Willie Parker style back, and a lot of receptions for him. So Minnesota's been great at shutting down the best wide receiver on the opponent's team. So I expect to see Todd Heap and Ray Rice get most of the offense's yards for the Ravens, and I think that bodes well for Minnesota. And yeah, the Ravens have a good run defense, but they also let Cedric Benson get 952 yards against them last week. I think it was 140 something. And I think Adrian Peterson is better than Cedric Benson. So there's opportunity there for Peterson to gobble up a bunch of yards. And that's the strength of the Ravens' defense, is the run defense. Their secondary has looked, and the Ravens' pass defense depends heavily on the blitz, and Favre does better against the blitz than he does when there's just a normal rush. So I expect to see Favre in a little more shotgun this week, and not just in third down, but we'll see. But I got every reason to believe the Vikings can win this game. I'm going to predict they do win this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like many of the games have been, and I don't even think it'll be one of those sort of blowouts like with Green Bay where they just got a lot of points in the fourth quarter and ended close. I think it's going to be a bit of a nail-biter, and it'll be within 10 points during the fourth quarter, and it might even trade leads at one point in the fourth quarter, that kind of game. But I expect Minnesota to put the Ravens away, and I want to say something like 27-24 or 23, but it seems like when two defensive teams get together and you expect it to be a slugfest, sometimes they each score 40 points. Like, I'm thinking about the Vikings-Bears game a year or two ago where they both scored, it was like 48-41. So I could see something like that happening. That would be exciting. But my official prediction is 27-23. All right. Thanks for watching.